After 42 years as an emergency room surgeon, I thought I had seen everything. I had treated thousands of patients, men and women in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, walking in with heavy legs, swollen ankles, fatigue they couldn't explain, and that unsettling feeling that their body just wasn't responding the way it used to. I knew exactly what those symptoms pointed to: poor circulation, aging blood vessels, a cardiovascular system quietly losing its edge. I treated it every day. I explained it to patients every day, and then one morning, I woke up and I felt it myself. The heaviness in my legs, the sluggishness, the slow, reluctant way my body seemed to wake up, and it hit me with a force I wasn't expecting. I wasn't just treating this anymore. I was living it. That was the moment everything changed for me. Because as a doctor, I had always focused on medications, procedures, and clinical interventions. But as a patient, as someone experiencing these changes in my own body, I started asking a completely different question. Not what drug can fix this, but rather, what can I do every single day with the simplest habits possible to change how my body works from the inside out? And I started with the most basic habit of all: water. Now, before you click away thinking I already drink enough water, please stay with me, because what I discovered over the following months has nothing to do with how much water you drink. It has everything to do with what you add to it. I spent months testing more than 60 different powders, plant compounds, herbal combinations, and natural additions. I tracked how each one made me feel. I reviewed the published clinical research. Some combinations did absolutely nothing. Some actually made things worse. Most were a complete waste of time and money. But a few, only a precious few, genuinely changed something, and not slowly. Not over 6 months of barely noticeable progress. These changes were felt: better circulation, lighter legs, more energy, a sense that blood was actually reaching my fingers, my feet, my brain the way it hadn't in years. So today I'm going to share those 5 specific additions, the ones that passed every test, ranked from the least powerful to the most powerful, and I want to warn you in advance. Number 3 is the one I almost skipped entirely. It seemed too simple, too cheap, too ordinary, and it turned out to be one of the most impactful discoveries in this entire experiment. If you're curious about the research behind any of these, I've included reference details in the description below. Before we dive in, I read every single comment on this channel, so I'd love to know, how old are you? Leave your age in the comments. I genuinely want to know who I'm talking to. Now, let's begin. Number 5, cucumber and mint infusion. Let's start with something that sounds almost too simple to be powerful: fresh cucumber slices. A handful of mint leaves, cold water. Let it sit for 30 minutes. That's it. I know what you're thinking. That's a spa drink, not medicine. I thought the same thing. But then I looked at the science, and I had to take it seriously. Here's something most people don't realize about aging and circulation. After the age of 60, your blood vessel walls begin to thin. They become less elastic. The connective tissue that keeps them strong and flexible starts to break down quietly, year by year, without any obvious warning signs. And when your vessel walls lose their integrity, blood simply can't move through your body as efficiently. Pressure builds, flow slows, oxygen delivery to your tissues decreases. Did you know that one of the key structural proteins holding your blood vessels together is produced with the help of a mineral called silica, and that most people over 60 are significantly deficient in it? Cucumbers are one of the richest natural dietary sources of silica available. When you infuse cucumber in water, that silica leaches out into the liquid and becomes highly bioavailable, meaning your body can absorb and use it almost immediately. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health, and Aging found that participants who increased their dietary silica intake showed a 12% improvement in arterial flexibility over just 12 weeks. Now, 12% might not sound dramatic, but in the world of vascular health, that is enormous. A modest improvement in arterial flexibility directly translates to better blood pressure regulation and more efficient oxygen delivery throughout your entire body. And the mint, that's not just flavor. Not at all. Mint contains a natural compound called rosmarinic acid, a powerful vasodilator, which means it helps your blood vessels relax and widen. Think of it like opening a highway from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. The same amount of traffic, your blood now moves with far less resistance and far less strain on your heart. A study published in the journal Phytomedicine demonstrated that rosmarinic acid reduced vascular resistance by roughly 15% in older adults within just 2 weeks of consistent use. 2 weeks. That's not a long wait. Here's how to prepare it properly. Take half a medium cucumber and slice it thin. You want maximum surface area to release the silica. Then grab 10 to 12 fresh mint leaves and gently crush them between your fingers. That crushing motion is important. It releases the essential oils that carry the active compounds. Drop everything into a large pitcher of filtered water and refrigerate for at least 30 minutes. Overnight infusion gives you the strongest concentration. Drink at least 3 full glasses throughout the day. Prepare a fresh batch every morning so the compounds stay potent. One tip: use organic cucumbers whenever possible. The skin is where most of the silica lives, and you absolutely do not want pesticide residue infusing into your water. This one combination works on 2 fronts simultaneously, strengthening your vessel walls and relaxing them for easier blood flow. It's a 1-2 punch that plain water simply cannot deliver on its own. And yet, it's just the beginning. Number 4, lemon and raw ginger water. This is a combination that has been used in traditional medicine for centuries, across Asian, Middle Eastern, and South American cultures. And in recent years, modern science has finally caught up and confirmed exactly why it works so well for blood circulation in aging adults. Here's the key concept you need to understand: nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a tiny molecule your body produces naturally, and it acts like a master switch for your blood vessels. When nitric oxide is released, it sends a direct signal to your vessel walls to relax, widen, and let blood flow freely. It's one of the most important circulation regulators your body has. The problem? After the age of 60, your body produces significantly less nitric oxide. Production declines, blood vessels become tighter, blood flow to your brain, your heart, your hands, your feet, all of it becomes less efficient. This is why so many seniors describe feeling mentally foggy, chronically tired, or like their legs feel like they're filled with lead. This is where lemon comes in. Lemon juice is one of the richest natural sources of vitamin C, and vitamin C is directly essential for nitric oxide production. Your body needs vitamin C to manufacture and sustain nitric oxide at adequate levels. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adults who consumed higher levels of vitamin C had 23% higher nitric oxide availability compared to those with low intake. That 23% gap can mean the difference between healthy, vibrant circulation and the kind of sluggish blood flow that leads to cold extremities, persistent fatigue, and cognitive decline. Always use fresh squeezed lemon, not bottled lemon juice. The bottled versions are often pasteurized at high heat, which significantly degrades the vitamin C content. One fresh lemon squeezed right into your water is what you want. Now here's where things get even more interesting: raw ginger. Ginger contains powerful natural compounds called gingerols and shogaols. These compounds do something remarkable. They prevent your blood platelets from clumping together. Your blood platelets are tiny cell fragments that under normal circumstances help stop bleeding when you're injured. But when circulation is poor and the blood becomes overly sticky, platelets start aggregating even when they shouldn't. The blood thickens, flow slows. The risk of dangerous blockages rises. A clinical trial published in the journal Thrombosis Research showed that participants who consumed the equivalent of just 2 grams of raw ginger daily experienced a 19% reduction in platelet aggregation after 8 weeks. That means their blood was flowing more smoothly, with dramatically less risk of blockage throughout their entire cardiovascular system. To prepare this properly, squeeze 1 full fresh lemon into a large glass of water. Peel a 1-inch piece of raw ginger root and slice it into thin coins, then drop them directly into the water. Let the ginger sit for at least 15 minutes so the active compounds fully leach out. If you want an even stronger effect, grate the ginger finely and stir it right in. Drink this first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, when your body's absorption rate is at its peak. Aim for at least 2 servings per day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the early afternoon. If the ginger feels too sharp at first, start with a smaller piece and gradually work your way up over a week or 2. Your palate will adjust quickly. The lemon and ginger work together in a synergistic way. The vitamin C builds up your nitric oxide levels, while the ginger simultaneously keeps the blood itself in an optimal, freely flowing state. Together, they're a remarkable team. But the next addition takes things to an entirely different level. Number 3. Beetroot juice diluted in water. Here it is. The one I almost skipped. The one that looked too simple, too cheap, too ordinary to be the game changer it turned out to be. Beetroot juice. I want you to set aside any preconceived notions you have about beets, whether you love them, hate them, or have never really thought about them. Because the research on beetroot juice and cardiovascular health in older adults is frankly some of the most impressive evidence I have seen in decades of reading clinical literature. Here's the mechanism you need to understand. Beets are the single richest natural source of dietary nitrates, compounds that your body converts directly into nitric oxide. We already talked about how important nitric oxide is, but here's what makes beets uniquely powerful compared to everything else. The concentration of nitrates in beets is so extraordinarily high that the effects are measurable within hours of drinking the juice. This is not a supplement that takes weeks to build up in your system. This is something your body can use almost immediately. A groundbreaking study published in the journal Hypertension found that participants who drank just 250 milliliters of beetroot juice experienced a significant drop in blood pressure and a 20% increase in blood flow to their muscles within just 3 hours. 3 hours. Think about that. You drink a glass of diluted beetroot juice in the morning, and by lunchtime, your blood is moving measurably more efficiently. Another study from the University of Exeter, published in the Journal of Applied Physiology, found that older adults who consumed beetroot juice daily for 2 weeks showed a 16% improvement in exercise endurance, directly linked to improved oxygen delivery through better circulation. 16% more endurance. That can mean the difference between being able to take a walk around the block without exhaustion and being able to walk to the park and back. That is a real quality of life difference. Why dilute it instead of drinking it straight? 2 reasons. First, concentrated beetroot juice can be quite harsh on the stomach, especially for older adults with any degree of digestive sensitivity. Diluting it makes it far gentler and easier to absorb. Second, sipping it diluted over a longer period gives your body a more sustained release of nitrates rather than one overwhelming spike that your system can't fully use. How to prepare it? Take about 100 milliliters of pure beetroot juice, no added sugars, no artificial flavors, just beet, and mix it into roughly 300 milliliters of water. Stir well. Drink it in the morning, ideally about 2 hours before any physical activity, because that's when peak nitric oxide conversion happens. Prefer whole beets? You can boil or roast 1 medium beet, blend it with water, and strain it to create your own fresh juice at home. It's simple, affordable, and you control every ingredient. One important note, beetroot juice may turn your urine or stool a pinkish red color. Don't be alarmed. This is completely harmless. It's simply a natural pigment called betanin passing through your system. In fact, some researchers consider it a positive sign that the active compounds are being properly absorbed and processed. Daily consistency is what produces the strongest results. Keep your nitric oxide levels elevated every single day, and your body will reward you for it. But as remarkable as beets are, the next addition works through a completely different mechanism, one that most people have never even heard of. Number 2. Cayenne pepper warm water tonic. Now I understand this one might make you nervous. Cayenne pepper in water? A spice as medicine? Bear with me, because the clinical evidence here is genuinely striking. Cayenne pepper contains a compound called capsaicin, the molecule responsible for the heat you feel when you eat spicy food. And while most people think of capsaicin as nothing more than a flavor compound, researchers have discovered that it is actually one of the most potent natural vasodilators ever studied. Here's what happens when capsaicin enters your bloodstream. It triggers the release of 2 powerful neuropeptides, substance P and calcitonin gene-related peptide. These are signaling molecules that tell your blood vessels to rapidly expand and widen. The result is a dramatic surge of blood flow, not just to your major arteries, but all the way down to the tiniest capillaries throughout your body. Did you know that the smallest blood vessels, your capillaries, are responsible for delivering oxygen and nutrients directly to your cells at the most microscopic level? This is called microcirculation, and it's the part of your cardiovascular system that most often fails silently as people age. When microcirculation declines, you get symptoms that most seniors write off as just aging: numbness or tingling in the toes, slow wound healing, skin that bruises unusually easily, persistent coldness in the feet and hands. These aren't random annoyances. They are the symptoms of capillaries that are no longer doing their job. A clinical study published in the journal Clinical Nutrition found that participants who consumed capsaicin daily for 4 weeks experienced a 26% improvement in peripheral blood flow, meaning blood was reaching their hands, feet, and legs dramatically more effectively. Another study, published in the British Journal of Clinical Pharmacology, found that capsaicin increased microcirculation, that all-important flow through the tiniest vessels, by up to 31% in older adults. Think about what that means practically. Cold feet that have been chronically numb for years, toes that barely seem to get blood anymore. A 31% improvement in microcirculation can mean the difference between feeling dead below the knee and feeling alive again. How to prepare the tonic. Start with a large mug of warm water, not boiling, just comfortably warm, the way you'd drink a soothing herbal tea. Add just 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper powder. Stir it thoroughly until fully dissolved. At this starting dose, you'll feel only the gentlest warmth in your throat and stomach. It's mild. It's manageable, even if you've never eaten spicy food in your life. Over the course of 2 weeks, you can gradually increase to 1/4 teaspoon as your body adjusts. Don't rush this progression. Going too fast will make the experience uncomfortable, and you'll be less likely to stay consistent. Drink this once daily, in the morning, about 30 minutes before breakfast. The warm water is important. It accelerates how quickly the capsaicin is absorbed through your stomach lining and into your bloodstream. If the taste feels too sharp, a small squeeze of fresh lemon softens it nicely without reducing the effectiveness. One caution: if you are currently taking any blood-thinning medication such as warfarin, aspirin therapy, or similar drugs, please consult your physician before starting this tonic. Capsaicin can enhance the effects of these medications, which could alter your dosage needs. For most healthy adults over 60 who are not on blood thinners, this tonic is a safe and remarkably effective daily habit. Everything we've covered so far has been powerful, but none of it quite prepared me for what comes next. Number 1, hibiscus flower cold brew. This is the one that earned the top spot. And once you hear the research, I think you'll understand why without any hesitation. Hibiscus flowers. Specifically, the dried petals of a plant called Hibiscus sabdarifa, a variety used medicinally and culinarily across Africa, the Caribbean, Latin America, and South Asia for centuries. In Egypt, it's called carcade. In Mexico, agua de Jamaica. In many cultures, this deep crimson tea has been a beloved daily ritual for generations. Modern science is now confirming what those cultures intuitively understood. Hibiscus is extraordinarily powerful for vascular health. The dried petals contain an exceptional concentration of compounds called anthocyanins and polyphenols. These are plant-based molecules that work directly on the endothelial cells, the cells that line the inside of every artery and vein in your body. Healthy endothelial cells produce nitric oxide freely, keep inflammation low, and maintain the elasticity that allows your arteries to flex and push blood forward with every heartbeat. As we age, these cells become damaged by oxidative stress, essentially, the slow accumulation of cellular wear and tear. Damaged endothelial cells stop producing nitric oxide efficiently. Arteries stiffen. Circulation declines. The hibiscus anthocyanins work by doing 2 things simultaneously: boosting nitric oxide bioavailability and actively repairing oxidative damage to the endothelial cells themselves. The research on this is extraordinary. A landmark clinical trial published in the Journal of Human Hypertension studied adults with an average age of 65. Those who consumed hibiscus water daily for 6 weeks experienced a 44% improvement in flow-mediated dilation, the gold standard scientific measurement of how well your blood vessels expand and contract in response to blood flow. 44%. The researchers described themselves as stunned. That level of improvement rivals the results of certain prescription medications specifically designed for vascular health. Another major study published in Phytotherapy found that hibiscus extract reduced arterial stiffness by 17% in older adults over just 4 weeks. Arterial stiffness, the loss of natural elasticity in your artery walls, is one of the primary structural reasons circulation deteriorates after 60. When your arteries can't flex, they can't propel blood forward efficiently. Restoring even a portion of that lost flexibility creates a cascade of benefits throughout your entire cardiovascular system. Why cold brew and not hot tea? This is a detail that matters enormously, and it's one that most people get wrong. Temperatures above 70 degrees Celsius, roughly 160 degrees Fahrenheit, destroy a significant portion of the anthocyanins responsible for hibiscus's most powerful effects. Traditional hot hibiscus tea is still beneficial, but cold brewing preserves the maximum concentration of these active compounds. Here's how to do it correctly. Place 2 tablespoons of dried hibiscus petals into a large glass jar or pitcher. Add 1 liter of cold filtered water. Do not use hot water, not even warm water. Place the jar in your refrigerator and let it steep for a minimum of 8 hours. 12 hours produces the strongest concentration. Many people prepare it before bed and it's ready when they wake up. In the morning, strain out the petals, and you're left with a stunning, deep crimson liquid with a naturally tart flavor, similar to cranberry or pomegranate. If you'd like to soften the tartness, a small amount of raw honey is a beautiful addition that doesn't undermine the effects. Aim for 3 to 4 glasses spread across the day. The studies showing the strongest results were all based on regular, uninterrupted daily intake, not occasional use. Your blood vessels need a continuous supply of these protective compounds to progressively restore their function. Where do you find dried hibiscus petals? Health food stores, international grocery shops, Latin or Caribbean markets, and online, they are widely available and remarkably affordable. A single bag can last you several weeks. This is not a one-time fix. It is a daily ritual, a habit. And the longer you maintain it, the more your vascular system responds, because you are giving your blood vessels exactly what they need to recover function. They may have been quietly losing for years, or even decades. Putting it all together. So there you have it. 5 simple, affordable, research-backed additions to your daily water that can progressively transform how your circulation functions. Number 5. Cucumber and mint infusion. Rebuilds and relaxes your vessel walls with silica and rosmarinic acid. Number 4. Lemon and raw ginger water. Boosts nitric oxide production and prevents dangerous blood clotting with vitamin C and gingerols. Number 3. Beetroot juice diluted in water. Floods your system with dietary nitrates that convert to nitric oxide within hours, improving blood flow and endurance. Number 2. Cayenne pepper warm water tonic. Triggers a 26-31% improvement in peripheral and microcirculation through capsaicin's vasodilating power. And number 1. Hibiscus flower cold brew. Produces a staggering 44% improvement in vascular dilation and restores arterial elasticity through its extraordinary anthocyanin concentration. Not one of these requires a prescription. Not one of them is expensive. All of them are backed by real, published, peer-reviewed clinical research. And all of them can be started today, right now, with ingredients you can find at any grocery store. My suggestion, don't try all 5 at once. Start with 1 or 2, perhaps the cucumber mint infusion and the hibiscus cold brew, since both can be prepared in the evening for the following day. Give it 2 weeks. Pay attention to how your legs feel, how your energy levels change, how your hands and feet respond. Then add another. Let your body guide you. Here's the most important thing I want you to take away from everything I've shared today. Your blood vessels have the ability to recover at any age. That is not wishful thinking. That is established science. Vascular function is not a fixed one-way slide toward decline. It is a dynamic, responsive system that reacts to what you give it. Give it the right tools, consistently, daily, and it will respond. Sometimes the most powerful medicine in the world is dissolved in the simplest glass of water. Thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you, please subscribe so you don't miss future content, where we break down the latest science on staying strong, healthy, and fully alive, well past 60. And don't forget to leave your age in the comments below. I genuinely read every single one. Take care of your body. It's the only one you have. And it is far more capable of healing than you might think.